lit. I'm adding more and more lits into all of our videos.
I know.
It's
pretty
great.
thing. Lit.
It's a whole thing.
3, 2, 1, throw.
What's up, everybody? I'm Mike.
You
always beat me to these. So I wanted.
I do. I actually do. I am Nick.
I'm Mike. Damn it.
You said you
Just used to be in second.
Start over. Do it again.
What's up, everybody? I'm Mike.
I'm Nick.
Hey, everybody. I'm Mike.
What's up, everybody? I'm Mike. I'm Nick. We are the brothers Murph. Am I supposed to say that part?
I don't know.
Okay.
We're in uncharted territory. We're the brothers Murph, and we are here to talk about our first ever Gen Con experience. I want to
GenCon.
talk about all the times I cried, the few times I laughed, one time I farted in public.
Really?
No.
I was like,
no, I'm careful. I'll go 3
How would
blocks away
anyone
if I
pin
had
that
to.
on you? Honestly, all right.
I know
agree.
that would be the time to do it, but I'm not a sociopath, so I don't do it.
That's true.
No, we're gonna talk about kind of all the highs.
Yeah, just
and the experience of
a review of Gen Con as a whole, which I think is cool, especially because we've never been there. And we kind of got to experience a bit of both sides, because we were there technically as exhibitors, because we were there with Restoration Games, who, if you've watched us more than like once, we are sponsored by Restoration Games, and we talk about them a lot because we really love the people, we really love the games. But they brought us out to Gen Con, which is very, very nice, because we wouldn't have gone otherwise. So we were there as exhibitors, which was cool. Because it was nice that we got to like go into the hall early, and we could just be there before the crowds and just kind of be like, ooh.
Here's the thing, to be honestly right up front, I don't know if I'd ever go if I didn't have that ability.
Really? I don't think it bothered me that much.
It was so nice, dude.
It was nice.
So nice. To be able to go in a side door an hour before they open, just be like, cool, I'm here.
Let's go shopping real quick. So
Yeah,
we're a little skewed with
totally
that. But we were only working with Restoration Games so much. The rest of the time we were off. Most of the time we were filming stuff. As you can see, stuff's coming out all the time from Gen Con. But we also kind of just got to be patrons and just kind of like roll around and buy stuff.
Let's experience a convention.
Wait in lines and stuff. And I do agree the exhibitor side is pretty sweet. Especially that first day, Thursday, where we're in there at like 8:15. We had a little meeting that finished up like 8:30, 8:45, and then we had like an hour and 15 minutes where we could just like roll around and buy stuff.
Blew around
before anyone came in there. It was
Shop for
awesome.
all of it.
It was really awesome. Which is great because we kind of got the games that we knew were going to be hot, or what we thought were going to be hot. We got those right then and didn't have to worry about
The
them
ones
the
we
rest
were
of the time.
hot on. Yeah, we got pretty much everything taken care of right away.
So going to that first day, how was that first day for you and stuff like that?
Man.
Big
Walking
Thursday,
walking into that exhibit hall, it's not even open yet. We go in and it's just like we walked in dead center of it, and it's just massive.
It's very large.
It's so large, and there's certain, big companies like Simon have these giant hanging signs so you can see where they are, and you kind of learn to orient yourself based on the big landmarks.
Oh, yeah, there's no north, south, east, west.
No.
It's Simon and then like Renegades over
Yeah.
here. It's just
But I mean, it was just like the size of it was pretty staggering. I mean, we haven't been to any con near that size before.
No.
So
God,
that
no.
was just like, whoa, okay, this is a new thing for sure.
Which is pretty crazy because I think Dice Tower Con is the biggest con we've been to, and there's like 1,500 people go to that one, and this is like 60,000. So it's close to like it's like
Bit of a step
It's
up.
like it's 40 times the size. Like it's crazy. One thing that was shocking to me, or not shocking, I just wasn't expecting it, is I thought it was going to be like a bunch of like not quite that big, but big like exhibitor halls, and then like the main hall was going to have like the Simons, the Fantasy Flights, all the companies that could afford the main hall.
Okay.
And then as the companies got smaller, they would be in different halls, which is how I think Essen is. And I think I was thinking of that, and it's not. Like I thought like board game personality people like the Dice Tower, I know they have a booth at Gen Con, but I thought they were going to be in like a hall with those types of people.
Sure, like
BGG would be in there, or whatever. And it wasn't. It was everything. Like I thought Restoration Games, I thought we were going to be in a different hall because Restoration Games is much smaller than someone like Simon.
We even walked into that exhibit hall only to walk across the convention center thinking like, oh no, they'd be in a different spot.
Yes.
Which turns out to be where they were demoing stuff, to walk back. I mean, it was big and small for the most part.
Yeah.
They were all in one giant hall, which I thought was kind of cool.
Which I actually really, really liked a lot. So that was kind of the first impression we first walked in.
Yeah.
So after that first like initial shock, How was it? Like, I mean, when we did for the first walkthrough, again, there were not nearly as many people there, but like
that first hour was like, there's so much extra space.
I was like, this is not that bad at all.
And we realized, like, yeah, it's because this is like a soft opening.
There's like 300
hour.
people in there, yeah.
Yeah, it's like for the VIGs, the very important gamers. And then we saw like thousands of people flood through these open doors. The first day, I was definitely a little hesitant going in. I'm like, what are we gonna expect? Everyone says like it's so crazy. There's so many people. You could never imagine how many people are there. Da 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 da. So I'm like, dude, is this gonna like suck? Like and it was. I'm talking about for the whole weekend. It was fine, and I think that's one area where we really luck out by living in Los Angeles.
Yes.
Like, we live in a humongous city with tons of people.
Yeah.
We go to Disneyland regularly where there are 100,000 people.
I think max capacity is like 80 to 100,000.
Yeah.
And they get to max capacity like multiple times
all the
a week.
time.
Like, a busy day at Disneyland was worse than Gen Con. In terms of like being in a crowd of people and having to walk slowly because there's so many people.
And just learning how to like navigate like in a big area that's labyrinthine in nature, with crowds. So like, it's not like I would love to have more room, but
every day, please.
Unfamiliar.
Yeah, totally.
I was like, the whole time I was like, oh, I can deal with this just fine. Like, that was no problem for me.
And I think a lot of people who talk about it are different reviewers talk about Gen Con. It's like, oh, it's just stifling. But a lot of these people don't live in like LA where there's 15 million people. It's just like, so for us,
day, dude.
Like Z Garcia, we were talking to him. He's the one who brought it. He's like, yeah, but you're from LA, so like you're used to these amount of people. And we're like, that's kind of a good point. And then you compare to Disneyland. I was like, oh, that's a really good point. We go to Disneyland all the time. And so
same old.
So the crowds, I mean, don't get me wrong. Again, I would have loved more space, but they really didn't bother me like at all. No. Like no problem at all. And I understand
to kind of
that's very specific to us. I'm also not uncomfortable in crowds. If you are, it can be very stressful and stuff like that. So that's not a con for us, but like I understand how it very much could be to someone else. You know what I mean?
And the thing is about it is like Gen Con is humongous, but it is cool to see so many people show up and to see Indianapolis itself recognize like something like board gaming in such a huge way. I mean, all the different bars and restaurants had like Gen Con special stuff. There's billboards put up by the city for Gen Con.
This is cut a little bit to the end, but when we were about to go home in the airport in Indianapolis airport. Keep in mind, this is Monday. This is after Gen Con's over. They had a sign that said Gen Con welcomes gamers, and they had tables out at the airport
while you're waiting for your plane,
just to play games on while you're waiting for your flight to go home. And I'm like, that's cool. Like, it is cool to see because they bring in a lot of money for Indianapolis. So Indianapolis, like, they bend over backwards, be like, yo, let's treat Gen Con and these gamers great.
Yeah.
And honestly,
felt very welcome in the city, which is pretty cool.
Very, very much. And all the people in the restaurants, they all know what's going on. They're used to it at this point. Yeah. But yeah, so that was the first day. The first day was great. We got to do a little bit of booth time at Restoration Games because we were working the booths. How did you enjoy the booth?
Booth life was pretty fun, man.
I freaking loved the booth. I thought I had so much fun.
Yeah, we would do either 1 or 2 hour stretches, and I found it to be so fun because you're there selling stuff. But, like, it's an easy sale because people are coming up to your booth because they're already interested in something that you have. Something's caught their eye. We had Dinosaur Tea Party come out, which was a huge hit.
It was.
Absolutely.
We sold out the whole thing.
Sold out every single day. And so it's just fun to be able to, like, talk to people about something, and especially a product that you actually enjoy, and, like, just be able to chat them up, and they'll be like, yeah, I want that, or yeah, I don't want that too, and it's like the easiest job in the world. It was super fun.
It was great, because there's no pressure to like sell stuff. It's not like you don't sell hard. They're like, what are you doing? But it's like some people just walk up like, hey, I want that. And you're like, all right, cool, and you ring it up, and some people have to give a demo, and you got to sell them a little bit, but it's a blast. And there's just tons of energy. There's so many people coming around, and people are just constantly coming to the booth like, what's this? What's this? What's this? I love the booth. I wouldn't want to necessarily be there all day. Like some people who work for these companies or are volunteering, they're there. They get like a 1 hour break a day, and that's like
there was some people we talked to before the show opened, and they said we have 3 1 hour chunks to go around for the entire convention.
And that's go around, buy stuff, see stuff.
That's over the 4 days. They get 3 times where they can take an hour off, and I'm like, nope, I'll get myself to that convention. Yeah, doing like a 1 hour or 2 hour stretch. I wouldn't mind doing this like 3 hours in a day, but have it with breaks in between because I think it's more beneficial for the company because you have more energy.
It's exhausting. It is. I think the last day we were there for like 3 hours, and it was by the end of it I was like, okay, I'm tired. I can't imagine. And we had a small booth. we weren't CMON or something. I can't imagine being at one of those massive ones doing like 8 hours there. I mean, that would be rough. But ultimately, the booth life was great.
It's really fun.
So the first day of the con was wonderful, and then that night we had a very special.
Just one of the cooler experiences we've ever had in our life.
Yes, and it was one of the coolest things that ever happened to me. So we actually didn't do much for this night, but we had a meetup, like a what we call a Bing Bong meetup, so a Brothers Murph meetup, at a wonderful game store called Moonshot Games, which is in Nobleville, which is like 30 minutes outside of...
A suburb of Indianapolis.
Yeah, it's like a suburb of Indianapolis. And a couple of our followers said, like, hey, we want to set up like a meetup, because a lot of them live in the Midwest. Mm-hmm. And we're like, hey, we want to set up a meetup and do something so all of us can come together and meet each other, essentially.
Yeah.
Because all the people from Twitch and YouTube who talk and comment and stuff like that all the time, everyone wanted to meet each other, and so they all came out. So we were like, okay, yeah, that'd be cool. And then they took off and like planned, like, we didn't plan like anything really. I mean, they planned pretty much the whole thing. But we had this night, and we were expecting, maybe 40 people, 50 if we were really lucky, and we probably had at least 60 people show up. I mean,
we packed that place full.
It was insane. You can go on Twitch and watch a video. We live streamed the whole thing.
Yeah.
And we'll try to post it on YouTube as well. But it was so much fun. The people there treated us so well. They catered food for us.
Moonshot Games was like ace in terms of like being good hosts, gracious hosts. Yeah, they catered food for us, and then we ran out of that because we filled the place, and then they ordered a bunch of pizza just to like make sure everyone had a good time.
Yeah,
that was all they were worried about.
Yeah, we ran out of food.
We want to make sure everyone had a great time. I mean, they stayed open late for us.
They did.
They allowed us to bring in a bunch of equipment and whatnot and do whatever we wanted.
Yeah, they donated 20% of all the earnings from game sales. So they made that night 20% of it went to the Jack Vassell Memorial Fund.
Yeah, so that was super
which
cool.
Is huge.
Yeah, and they said that we did good enough business that rivaled their Magic Nights.
Yeah.
Which is the moneymaker nights for game stores.
Yeah, they said this is better than most Fridays we have.
During Gen Con,
yeah,
on an off day, like a Thursday, not a Friday night, they rivaled their most lucrative nights.
Yeah.
So that was really cool, and thank you to everyone who came out and bought stuff and to help support charity.
Yeah, and thank you for all the people who set up the night. I mean, there's so many to name. But it's just like...
Real quick shout out, G Money, Sherral, Jabble Dabble Do, Birdman... Rye Fresh. We had a whole caravan. They picked us up.
Yeah,
Justin from Restoration Games came out and was demoing Fireball Island.
Yeah, we got to demo Fireball Island there.
Got to give away some Restoration Game products.
Yeah, it was cool. Awesome. People gave us gifts. I mean, it was very as we told a lot of people that night. Being on the internet is weird because these people watch you, but like it's hard to. I don't know, conceptualize that in the real world.
Yeah, it's like people watch you, but you're like, does anyone watch us?
Yeah, exactly. And that was just very validating. It was really wonderful. There's already talks about next year, doing it again. There's already talk about one happening during what is now Dice Tower West.
That was a huge announcement.
Yeah, which is in Vegas, which used to be MeepleCon. They're talking about us doing a similar kind of meetup then for that one. So it was one of the coolest nights of our lives. It was just... And not even because we were like the center of attention. It was just a fun night. We played a giant roll and write game.
Yeah.
Good food, games being played, everyone having such a blast and just talking and chatting and getting to meet each other for the first time.
Yeah, that was really cool.
And just like it was so wonderful, and it'll just stay burned in my memory forever, honestly. Yeah. And it's a night we'll never forget.
Yeah, it was super duper special and a great way to start like the convention. So the first day was long, but it was just like such a cool, awesome.
Yeah, it was a long day.
Beginning to what was going to be a really fun and busy week. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. So, the rest of the day is kind of played out more or less the same.
Similarly.
You're getting up, it's busy and stuff. And we shot different things. We did booth time and stuff. We got to have dinners with like the Dice Tower crew and the Restoration Games crew. Were there... was there anything that was like a con to the con, or
there honestly
anything that was surprising and good, or
not really? I mean, it's a pretty well-oiled machine. They know what they're doing.
They've
been doing it for
years of
exactly
experience,
right. So like the only con that we really, because again, I understand that the crowds are a con for people, but that's not really a con for us. So the main con is the last year, I think, was the first year they took over Lucas Oil Stadium, which is connected to the convention center, and that's like their open gaming area because there's really nowhere else to put it. Even that's not the best place because it's a big building, but most of it's stadium.
The football stadium is where the Colts play.
Yeah, it's where the Colts play. But notice where the field is, they put down tile or whatever, and then that's where all the open gaming is. The problem is where the game library is this whole area full of, for the most part, empty tables. And we were kind of like, what is that? And we were told that, like, you have to essentially buy, like, a ticket or, like, essentially pay to go into the game library area.
It'll buy you some amount of time, 5 hours or something.
Yeah, and so you have to pay to essentially go to, like, the open gaming part. And we've kind of gone back and forth about this a lot in terms of, like, because at first we were like, this is BS, like, oh, what the heck, like, why are they making people pay?
Yeah.
And we still kind of feel that way, but at the same time, like, we don't really have another solution. There's so many people there.
The problem is if it's free, like, it's going to be full up for the entire week, and it'll be just like one group takes up a whole table all day long. So there's not a good solution. But the thing is you're renting out Lucas Oil Stadium, which cannot be cheap.
No.
And part of it's to have room for people to play open games, but then you put this paywall there.
Yeah.
And, like, I mean, not even a quarter of that area was ever full
we ever saw
with people playing games. So I'm like, are you making any money with this, or are you just burning a huge chunk of your cash for nothing?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's got to be a better
space.
There's got to be a better solution than that. It just felt very. Oh, I want to say elitist. I don't know if that's the right word, but it just felt very odd. Like that you had to pay to use the game library, and I've never seen that anywhere else. And it was very odd.
Logistical reasons for it all, but it just like didn't seem worth it because no one was in there.
Yeah,
all the times we went by, no one was in there. So I'm like, well.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. Way. So that's like the main con. Other than that, like there wasn't really many downsides to it. It's big. You're never gonna see everything. So like we didn't see a lot of stuff. It's tough to navigate to a degree. Like we didn't know where CGE was for a long time because we were just like, where are they? They're not in the main room. Turns out they were like in a whole room up here. They'd rented out the whole. That was like their booth area.
Yeah. And
we didn't know that for the first like 2 days. And so also we're like, oh, here's CGE and Game Toppers with Berkey was in there. And so we were like, oh, this is where all this is. But that was a little confusing. But then again, there were signs pointing to. I guess we just didn't see them. So it's tough to navigate. But anything that big, it's just gonna be tough to navigate. Yeah. There's no way around it.
Yeah, I can't even fault them for that. It's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the general con. And then so Saturday is like the big day. And I did like a little intro video on Saturday. So here's that. What's up, everybody? It is Saturday morning here at lovely Gen Con. You can see behind me, people are filing in and out and all that kind of stuff. It is crazy. People talk about, the different days of Gen Con. Thursday is great, Friday is great, Saturday is great, Sunday is great. But the real difference is the sheer amount of people who are here is really the main difference. On Thursday, it's very crowded, don't get me wrong, but it's not like claustrophobic crowded. And then Friday comes along and you can feel a distinct difference between Thursday and Friday in the sheer amount of people. And then today comes, and again, you can feel a distinct difference in the difference between Friday and Saturday. You can just feel that there's more people there, you know?
Even if you don't see it, you can sense the energy.
You can sense it in your aura.
Yeah. Then the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, were both pretty darn busy right up to the end. But again, it was just really fun. It's one thing I can think of is, if I went back, one thing I'd like to do more of is do more of the panels and shows and things. Because we went to the Dice Tower show because we knew Restoration Games was going to be announcing that they're doing Dark Tower there. We knew that Dice Tower was going to be announcing Dice Tower West there, so we wanted to go and support all of our peeps. But we talked to some people and like, oh, what have you done today? And they're just like, oh man, I've just been in seminars all day and different panels, and we're like, I haven't done any of that.
Yeah.
I have no idea what even panels there are.
Yeah.
And that'd be something that'd be fun to explore in the future. Is like do some more of that and just see.
Yeah, and that's the only reason why I'd ever want to be there as like a patron rather than as an exhibitor, because we'd have more time. It would be cool to be able to go there and not like, hey, we need to film, because we like every morning we're like, okay, what do we need to film today? We need to film this, we need to get this done. We have booth time now. We have a dinner tonight, which is great because we were making contacts and doing stuff and being productive. But there were times like we didn't have, except for like late at night, we didn't have time to like go to like these panels and stuff. So we didn't even look like what they were. Like other than we knew we had to go to the Dice Tower show, and that was basically it.
Yeah.
So I would like to do that, but that just may not be in the cards, honestly, for us. Like
another thing I'd like to do is schedule more downtime.
Yeah.
More like true downtime where you like leave the convention. and get away from it all. Because it's super fun. Like, we got to meet so many people.
Yeah.
It was so awesome. We got to have great interactions with just tons of folks every single day. But it is tiring.
Yes.
And I don't mean for a second to sound like we're complaining, because we're not. But, like, it would be nice to get more time where you just go and you shut it down. Don't do anything. Don't even go and play games. Just go relax, chill out.
See,
or maybe go play a game, but get away from it. Like, physically remove yourself from it.
See, it's interesting because I'm actually kind of on the opposite end.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a little bit. Which I mean, like,
you want to lean heavier into it?
I'm almost in the mind of, like, it's 4 days. Let's just grind it out.
Oh.
Which is interesting because, and that's fine. I think that we disagree a little bit on this, but I actually am kind of the opposite. I kind of liked our schedule. It was exhausting. Don't get me wrong. I kind of liked our schedule this time around. It's one of those things because a lot of cons are at a hotel.
Yeah.
If we were at a hotel, I'd be like, yeah, let's go take a nap real quick, come back down. With this one, though, because we have to leave, and keep in mind, we were staying very close.
Yeah.
But it's like we still had to walk like 5 or 6 blocks to go to our hotel, go up there, hang out for a bit, and then come all the way back down, walk back to the convention. In that situation, at least personally, I'm almost of the mind where I'm like, you know what, I'd rather just stay and
bar it up.
and just power through. Yeah, and that's just my personal preference on the thing. For the most part, I agree, but then like a big con like that, I'm like let's just grind, let's just do it, which is I think I was kind of pushing that energy a lot. Where I was just like, all right, what do we do? We got to do. And I think
there's times where I was just like, let's just not do anything. Right
yeah, exactly, and which is totally fine. We have a slightly different opinion.
You know what's one thing we got to do?
Yeah,
we got to play Codewords.
Oh, we did. I forgot.
CGE's permission. So Codewords is an online interactive version of Code Names that our buddy Michael Urban developed. Mm-hmm. And we got to play it in the hall on Saturday night. We just took a projector and shot up against the wall and got people to stop because they all had phones. So you can play on your phone.
Yeah.
And Nick and I got to be like the code masters and stuff.
Yeah, the MC's code masters.
Yeah,
it was great.
People online were playing from home. We just
it's
put
like
up
10
our
o'clock
phone
at night
streaming.
on Saturday. Yeah.
People got down though. It was really cool, and it was cool to like have CGE be
like they're super down too. Like, super down.
They're like really really excited by it and stuff. So like that was really fun.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that was a very much like Michael was there. He had developed this. We had tried doing it before on Twitch, but we were trying to officially get CG's permission. Couldn't get it. They just weren't really responding to us. So we're like, well, we don't want to use it just because it's could be ethically it's not necessarily the best. So Michael was there. He's like, hey man, like I have laptops. We can go buy a projector from Costco and return it afterwards and stuff like that. I can get some sound equipment. Like, do you want to try and make Codewords happen? And we were like, sure. Like, let's try and do it. And then he was so proactive about like asking CGE. They were like super down. Like, hey, next year let's do it way bigger and like a big ballroom and stuff. And like they were super cool, and him and his wonderful girlfriend went out and got a bunch of stuff, like projectors and stuff, made it happen. And then like at 10 o'clock at night on a Saturday, we're just in the middle of the main big hallway, just trying to rope people. I'm like, oh, you need your phone? Come play Code Names.
People came and sat down.
We had like 20 people playing. It was great.
Yeah, it was super fun. So that was just like a cool little treat.
Yeah,
to
that's right. I forgot about that.
On almost.
Yeah, pretty much.
The last night of the convention, but
yeah. Then Sunday was busy, but slowed down, and then the con closes, doors close, and everyone just instantly starts ripping everything down.
It's crazy how fast some people got their booths down. Like
I was
maybe 30 minutes.
Astonished at how quickly the whole thing came down. I mean, oh my gosh, we took longer than a lot of people considering how small our booth was, and by the time we were done. I mean, everyone around us, because we were in a lot of small booth area, almost everyone around us was completely wiped out and gone. I mean, it was wild how quickly that place came down.
Yeah. It's kind of fascinating to see and partake in.
Yeah.
Because we didn't get to do the setup, so we got to do the teardown, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know.
So that was more or less the feeling of the con, the stuff we did. So, like, let's get into a couple of the games. On last Friday, our Con Hall video came out, so you can see all the games we've got. So we're not going to go into like all the games we've got right now. We already did a 45-minute video about that.
Video for that.
So go to that video. But like, what would you say? What would you say is like the hot game or games of the con? And then we're going to go into like what was maybe like a bit of a sleeper hit.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
For something that we got that was definitely one of the hottest things was Root. I mean, it was the top of the hotness from BGG going into the convention. It sold out, I think, pretty much every day, or certainly many times that we walked by, it had been sold out.
Yeah.
And we got it and really liked it. So, Root was definitely one.
Root was huge.
People were all wanting to go grab that.
Gizmo from CMON.
Yep.
I mean, I never even saw it. We went through the CMON booth a few times to get a couple things. And like they were always just gone, completely sold out.
Same thing with Newton. It's like
Newton's that way too. Yeah,
I want to say like it was the hottest game ever, but it's like they literally had like 30 copies a day.
See, that's why I think it's kind of a sleeper hit. Maybe it was because it was so scarce. But like
I think that's definitely part of like what created the frenzy about it.
We looked into it beforehand during our preview video, and like I was like, cool, but like I did not think that game was going to be that. That's kind of again more of a sleeper hit, kind of a hot game. But it's like I did not think that game was.
I think they were smart to make it so
at all,
scarce,
just gone.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely gone.
Yeah, so those are a few that seemed like everyone was talking about. We just kept hearing Newton and Gizmos and Root and Everdell and stuff and Archmage and
Archmage. They Fantasy Flight announced Keyforge. That was of course a massive one. And X-Wing Second Edition was huge, obviously. But all those like. I mean, it's big Fantasy Flight stuff. Everyone kind of assumed they're big. So what about like sleeper hits? Like anything? I would say like Newton is one. Roll and Rights are getting bigger and bigger, but like we had like Railroad Inc.
Yeah, another CMON one, which is cool, especially because it's so seemingly anti-CMON because it's just a tiny little roll.
Yeah, they do more and more stuff like that. And I'm liking more and more CMON's the or not of CMON. I'm liking that more and more and more.
Lean more into the or not CMON. Roll and Rights in general. Welcome to a lot of people had and played and want from Deepwater Games. One for us that we like saw in our preview and then started seeing billboards. They had all these billboards on the ground, like these little stuck
stickers,
on things for Palm Island, which is a game that was all built around the gimmick of like you don't need a table to play. It's literally just a card game, and you can hold your cards in such a way that it makes sense because you're basically getting resources and spending those resources. You can play the whole game in your hand, so you can literally be standing in line.
Yeah.
You can be on a plane, you can be on a train, whatever it might be. And we went by Palm Island and got it and really loved it. It's this tiny little card game that has plastic cards. You can play it in the water. It comes in a waterproof case. It's just like a fun little gimmick and stuff. But it's actually a cool little card game.
Yeah.
Despite really not having a ton to it.
Yeah. That was a kind of a little one. Yeah. They pushed it. They advertised it well. Mm-hmm. And I mean, they were selling a bunch, and it was a cool little kind of like a random little thing that was
resource management and spending game.
Yeah.
I mean, you're trying to get logs, fish, and stone to like build stuff, and you can play competitively where you're trying to use your deck the most efficiently. So we'll have our deck at least at the start of the game in the same exact order. There's 17 cards. You have the exact same order, and then as you play, it starts to differ and stuff. And trying to see like with the same cards in the same order and stuff, who can be the best with what they have and be the most efficient, which is really cool. You can play cooperatively where you're trying to get a bunch of resources to avoid natural disasters. You can play solo, and you just go for your highest score.
Yeah, it's a great little game, and it was talked about a lot. It seems like a lot of people were getting it. It seems like it was sold very well, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And then I mean, I'm sure there's some other stuff. Again, it's hard to see everything, and so I don't really have definitive like this stuff. Was the game of the con.
Yeah.
There wasn't really one like.
If you have an idea of like what the game of the con was, put in the comments below. Because there's probably something we missed that's huge.
Probably, probably.
All right, so before we end this video, Nick, would you Gen Con again?
Oh yeah. I want to go back really bad.
Yeah,
really, really
I thought it was really fun. I feel like we made some really good purchases without like blowing our entire bank.
We did not spend that much money, no.
Everyone was just really cool that we met, both on the production side from different companies, different people that watch our stuff or watch this game or listen to This Game Is Broken. Everyone was just, the vibe was really good in there.
Yeah.
I was very happy and pleasantly surprised with like just how cool everyone was.
Yeah, it was very, despite being so many people like fervently trying to get things. Yeah. It was
no
pretty
one
chill.
Pushing, shoving, and running.
Pretty chill.
None of that.
None of that at all. Although you didn't you have some situation in the CMON line?
Yeah. About Newton, man.
It was about Newton, right?
It was a thing. Okay, so like I get there to get Railroad Inc. and I'm there before the con opens, and I find a buddy, Brant from the Dice Tower, who, so I start talking to him and I just hop in line. And I kind of ask the people around, because there's like in this loose group, the line hasn't formed, but everyone's kind of in line already. Mm-hmm. I asked them like, hey, is everyone like, is it cool if I like stand here and stuff? And I say like, I'm just grabbing Railroad Inc. And everyone's like, yeah, it's fine. And this one guy just kind of we're chatting with, he's a little more quiet. And then another person, the doors open officially, and people start filing in to officially fill the CMON line. Yeah. And people are just running and jumping into whatever part of the line they want, right? It's like
pretty much.
It's like what are you gonna do? It's kind of controlled chaos and stuff, and we're not officially in line anyway. Blah blah blah. Anyway, so this guy comes in right behind me in front of this other guy. He's just like, oh man, I just hope they have Newton. So he said the wrong word, because then the guy who like had allowed me to cut.
Yeah.
He's just like, I know what you're doing. He's just like, what? He's just like, I mean, it's fine, but like, I just want you to know, like, we were kind of in line. I know what you're doing. And the guy's just like, all right. Like, he's just like, we're just all rushing in or whatever. And I think the reason he cared is because that dude was going for Newton. And now all of a sudden someone's in front of him with very limited. I'm getting something that, like, there's 50 of each of the, like, no one cares about that. Everyone in that line was for Newton, and I'm just the only one. So he was just like fine with me. So that was the only. But everything was cool. There was no real conflict, but it's just kind of like, I see line is just a suggestion then.
Ultimately, it was great. Everyone
vibes.
was super cool. Thank you everyone who came up and said hi to us. We met so many people. It was just wonderful. So many of the Bing Bong fam were there. We got to say hi. Thank you everyone for came out to the Brothers Murph meetup night thing. It was just. Yeah, it was great. It was great. I'd Gen Con again. You Gen Con again?
Yeah, I would totally go to Gen Con again, man.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to do it bigger and better next time. Do another Bing Bong night, hopefully with even more people. And I don't know. I'm just I feel like I've fully recovered at this point from it. Didn't get sick. Ugh. Very excited by that.
Yeah, indeed.
So Gen Con was fantastic. Thank you everyone for watching our little review here. Again, as Nick said, thank you to everyone who did talk to us. If we didn't run into you, which is really easy to do, to not run into someone at Gen Con because there's so many people, we apologize, and that's why we'll come back next year so that we can hopefully all hang out and become besties.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so if you went to Gen Con, down in the comments, let us know what your favorite part of the con was. What was your favorite game? If you were Gen Cantor, what'd you do last week?
Yeah, I saw a lot of people that had their own thing going on.
It was
What'd you
great.
do to Gen Cant it?
It was great. Yeah, and so until next time, that was our Gen Con 2018 review. Make sure to like and share this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already.
Yeah.
And I guess until next time, I'm Nick Murphy.
I'm Mike Murphy.
We're the Brothers Murph, and that is Gen Con.
Gen Con, you do it. I got nothing. What if Gen Con was like James Con's brother? I'm Gen Con. Such a cool video, right? There's jokes, and I know what happened in this one for sure. So because of that, check out Restoration Games. They sponsor us, and there's info for them in the description below. There's also more things where I'm doing funny stuff. Sometimes Nick is funny, because I've seen all these